The original Line 6 DL4 quickly became a classic pedal when it was released way back in 1999. Back then, modelling was in its infancy, so this was the first time that some players were able to experience what it was like to play with vintage or rare effects like tape echoes or modulated delays. DL4 had 15 types of delay, and they still sound great to this day. Now, another big part of the DL4's success was its intuitive user interface. A simple selector allowed you to choose between the 15 different delays and then quickly edit any of the parameters. The controls always felt very analog and allowed you to easily experiment with settings and use the DL4 like a musical instrument. The 4 foot switches allowed you to save and recall 3 different presets and use tap tempo. And those foot switches could also be used to control the 14-second long loop sampler. It was one of the first easy to use and engaging loopers, and you could even put your loops into halftime or reverse if you were feeling really creative. It also had stereo inputs and outputs, 24-bit audio quality, true bypass, and an expression pedal input. It was the first pedal in this format and it's been copied ever since, but let's put this one down because this video is about the DL4 Mark II. Now, if you just want a faithful recreation of the original DL4, then there's no need to watch much more of this video. The green text around the selector shows those original legacy delay names, and if you press the legacy button so that it lights up green, DL4 Mark II can be used in exactly the same way as its predecessor. So if you position the controls the way you always did, it will sound exactly the same as it always did. For those of you who are looking for the modern updated version, then keep watching. So DL4 Mark II has 30 different delays. As well as the 15 classic legacy versions, there are now 15 Mark II delays. These are taken from our Helix and HX families. They are selectable when the legacy button is unlit and their names are written in white text. DL4 Mark II has an XLR microphone input with a gain control. The original DL4 became very popular for vocal loops and now it's even easier to do, and you can even loop them at the same time as your guitar. There are 2 types of looper. It has the classic 4-switch looper where each foot switch controls a different loop function, and it also has a 1-switch looper. The 1-switch looper is selected in global settings to be permanently on the tap foot switch. It will loop using any of the delay sounds you have dialed in and can obviously be accessed at any time in any of your presets. In global settings, you can also set the pre or post position and choose if you want mono or stereo loops. Loop time is up to 120 seconds stereo or 240 seconds in mono, but much longer with a micro SD card. And DL4 Mark II will also save the last loop to the SD card so that it's easily accessible next time you power up. An expression pedal and extra foot switch can be added, or 2 extra foot switches. The expression pedal can be set up to easily morph between 2 different settings, controlling multiple parameters at once. The extra foot switches can be assigned to things like tap tempo or to switch on and off the classic looper. They can also be used to toggle between 2 different settings like an expression pedal. DL4 Mark II has MIDI in and out through, so that its functions can be easily controlled by an external device or its tempo controlled via MIDI clock, and you can also do this via USB. Global settings can also unlock a lot of other cool features. For example, the tap foot switch can be reassigned to toggle between an extra bank of presets, so D, E and F. So there can be 6 presets accessible from the foot switches or 128 via MIDI. And you can also choose true analog bypass or options for DSP or buffered bypass. So that was a brief overview of some of the features of DL4 Mark II. It also has some other really nice features like the 15 hidden reverbs that we'll discuss in a later video. But for now, as always, thank you for watching.